So in this video, I'm going to explain you the basics of Java's that is Servlet API. Okay. So before moving into to the Java Servlet API, so I just wanted to show you a couple of things so that you will get some idea how we can going to use Servlet API to develop the Servlet application. Okay. So before actually we are before while developing the application Servlet API, we are using the API from Java Servlet, right? JavaX dot Servlet. So now that is renamed to Jakarta dot Servlet API. This is Tomcat from Tomcat organization, right? So we can see the document. There is a significant breakage change between Tomcat 9.0 to 10.0. Okay, the Java package use specification API changed from Java X dot servlet to Jakarta. Okay, it will be necessary to recompile overlay against the new API. Okay, this is the one thing. Okay, I have shown you. So the Java package servlet from servlet 5.0 API from servlet 5, the Java package has been changed from Java X dot servlet to Jakarta servlet. Okay, this is the this is the one I have shown, like this has been changed to Jakarta servlet. Okay, and one more things I will show you inside the Maven this one. If I search for Servlet API, then if I click the first one, Java Servlet API, you can see. So there will be like many implementation like jars and all this Maven dependency. Up to 4.0.1 we can see the Java Servlet, right? This is if I click 4.0.1, so it is java.x.servlet API, javax.servlet API. Okay, 4.1. If I go back, this artifact was moved to, so here it is also note they have mentioned this artifact moved to Jakarta.servlet. Okay, Jakarta servlet API. Okay, if I go back, here is the Jakarta servlet. Okay, if I click, so we can see 4.0.1 it is renamed to Jakarta. So now 6.0.0, this is the latest version, and 6.1 that is in implementation, I think. Okay, I'll show you one this one. Okay, see, Jakarta 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. 6.0 is like the stable version, and 6.1 under development. So whatever the application I'm going to develop, so it will be based on the Java Servlet 6.0. Okay, 6.0. So that means we are going to work on the latest version of the Servlet API. Okay, what do you mean by what is Servlet? From the Servlet specification, I am saying directly. Okay, Servlet API. Servlet API is a server-side technology which is used to generate dynamic content. Okay, one so like client, and this is the server. Okay, so what it will do? This is a client. Okay, this is a client, and this is server. Okay, server maybe it may be like server may be Tomcat. It may be at application server or web server. It can be anything. So if I say web server, it may be a Tomcat, or application server means WebLogic, or Glassfish. So many server are there. Okay, so whenever the client request for the specific one gives the request. Okay, I have already okay, so gives a request. So what it will do, our servlet means our servlet has been like there are few servlet, like many servlet. It may be for the timing I am taking one servlet example, but in real time, like there can be many servlet. You are going to see in our applications also. So there can be many servlet. Okay, servlet contains one server container. Okay, this is called container. Inside the server, there will be a container. Servlet container. This is known as servlet container. Okay, this is known as servlet container. Okay, this servlet container that resides inside the server. Okay, the servlet container is going to manage our server. What is this? What this is the these are the servlet. What will do? Okay, what it is going to do, whenever we are deploying our servlet inside the server, so the our servlet is going to maintain by the servlet container which is responsible. Okay, whenever the request come from the client, then that request will be received by the the web server or application server first. Then inside that, the container is there inside the server. So server will delegate the request to the container. Next, the job of the container is it will identify like to which server. There are many servlet, right? So the request will go to which servlet. The request will go to this servlet or this servlet or this or this, which servlet it will go. So that it is going to be identified by the container. The job of the container, the responsibility of the container is it is going to manage the life cycle of the servlet, each and every servlet that is deployed inside the container. Okay, so that is job of the container. Okay. So one that is the request processed by the servlet, it will again back to the container, or container to server will be back to the client. Okay, this is the way it is going to work. Okay, so now what I will tell, servlet container. The servlet container is a part of web server or application server that provides the network service over which request and response are sent. Okay, and servlet container manages the life cycle of the servlet. Okay, these are things I have already told you, and here I am showing the documentation directly so that you will not be confused like I am saying something beyond from the specification. Okay, these are the details how the request going from the browser like client to servlet. Okay, so that you can read. Okay, and I will show you like how we can develop our servlet. So there are basically one servlet interface there. Servlet interface, this is the one interface from which we can develop our servlet. What we can do, we will write our Java class. We will write our Java class that will implement to servlet. That is the actually the one way we can develop our servlet. But there are actually three ways. Like we have HTTP servlet, and another one is like generic servlet. Somewhere it will be there. Uh, it will be there. Like I will show you. I'll show you here. See, I'll show you. So Java Jakarta servlet, and here if I go to okay, see, and Jakarta servlet, and you can see generic servlet and HTTP servlet. Okay, generic servlet also implements this one servlet, and HTTP servlet also implements this servlet. So there directly or indirectly we are going to implement this servlet API. Okay, so here also maybe it will be written a servlet is Java protocol. To implement this interface, we can write generic servlet that extends Jakarta generic servlet. Okay, so all this documentation you can read. Okay, so the basic thing is like we should implement the servlet API actually, servlet interface. Okay, that is the correct way to work with the uh, work with like servlet. So but in the real time, like the most appropriate way is to work with the HTTP servlet. Okay, I will show you somewhere, it would be there. So as you've seen, servlet interface central abstraction Jakarta API, and all servlet implement the interface either directly or indirectly or commonly by extending that class implement the interface. Two classes in Jakarta servlet API implement the servlet interface, that is yes, I have already told generic servlet and HTTP servlet. By extending generic servlet or by extending HTTP servlet, our Java class, so we can make one servlet application, right? Or by implementing the servlet API directly. Okay, so indirectly if you are extending generic servlet or HTTP servlet, then indirectly we are implementing the servlet API, servlet interface. Okay, so for most purpose developer will extend HTTP servlet, I have already told, to implement their service servlets. Okay, so most of the real time we are going to use HTTP servlet. So servlet actually is having some life cycle method how the servlet will be going to instantiated, then how the object will be created, and what are the lifecycle methods that is there: init, the service, destroy. All these are lifecycle method of the servlet interface. Okay, servlet API. So that I will discuss in the another video. For the time being, this is the servlet basics. So I am showing what the servlet API contains actually, how we are going to work with servlet. Okay, so in this tutorial I am going to give a comprehensive uh, lecture, like comprehensive tutorial, like each context, will one application, right? I will develop and I will show you, okay, how we can work the servlet API. And at the end I will give you like one mini project, like which will contain the login and login validation. Then we are going to inside that and we will do all these crowd operations, or one mini project I am going to give you. That is my agenda. Okay. Okay, come back to this our discussion. So now HTTP, so interface, this servlet interface contains the HTTP servlet is the most of the time we are going to work with the extending by HTTP servlet. Okay, this HTTP servlet contains do triplex method, right? Do get, do put, do delete, all these methods. That is the HTTP methods. Okay, so that we are going to do. So basically do get and do post we are going to use. Okay, and others also we have, but most of the time we are going to work with do get and do post. Okay. I think, and servlet lifecycle I will, as I have told, I will explain, and loading and initiation, all these things are there. Okay, if you read the specification you will get to know everything. Okay, so I think the basic part you have understood. What do you mean by servlet, what is servlet container, and when it have changed to from Java X servlet to Jakarta servlet, and which of the API is going to use most of the time, that is HTTP servlet. Directly or indirectly we are going to work with servlet interface only, but there are two also. There are generic servlet and HTTP servlet. We are most of the time we are going to work with the HTTP servlet. Okay, this is the things we have discussed. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class with our first servlet example. By how we can work with the servlet, I will explain there. Okay, in this total journey I am going to provide you a comprehensive uh, well planned structure of servlet API. If you follow me from the this beginning to the end, you will work with the servlet, how to work with servlet login form validation, and work with the CRUD operation, work with servlet config, context, session management, URL mapping, all these like hidden form field, all these things I'm going to cover. Okay, if you follow me for each one, I'm going to develop one application. I will show you, and how to work with form, all these things I'm going to show you directly. Okay, so this is pretty much for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Okay, thank you.